Mastercard has just launched a new payment standard for the age of artificial intelligence, and the XRP ledger is already helping bring it to life. This is exactly the type of XRP story I love to cover. Not another wild price prediction, not another rumor about a secret partnership. This is a real payment infrastructure connected to one of the biggest financial companies on the planet, being implemented on the XRP ledger right now. And in my opinion, this is a massive win for XRP. Because while people continue arguing about whether XRP has any real utility, the XRP ledger is quietly positioning itself for what could become one of the largest new payment markets in history. Let's break down what has happened and why the XRP community should be celebrating this win. Mastercard has developed something called the Verifiable intent. It is part of Mastercard's wider Agent Pay for Machines initiative, which is preparing for a future where artificial intelligence agents and connected machines can make payments without a human manually approving any transactions. Now, that might sound futuristic to some people, but we are moving towards this world incredibly quickly. AI is already capable of answering questions, writing reports, building software, comparing products, and completing complex tasks. The next step for AI agents is to take action on our behalf. Imagine telling an AI assistant, book me a business trip to New York, keep the total cost below £2,000, choose a hotel close to the venue and make sure the flight arrives before midday. A sufficiently advanced AI agent could search for flights, compare hotels, arrange transport and pay for everything automatically. Businesses could also use AI agents to purchase data, computing power, software services, advertising, logistics and other digital resources. Machines may eventually make millions or even billions of tiny payments to other machines every single day. But there is an obvious problem. How does a company know that an AI agent genuinely had permissions to make a payment? How does it know how much the agent was authorized to spend? And how can it prove exactly what the payment was intended to purchase? This is what Mastercard's Verifiable intent standard is designed to solve. It creates cryptographic evidence that can travel alongside the automated payment. It can prove who authorized the payment, what restrictions were placed upon it, how much the agent was allowed to spend, and what the transaction was supposed to achieve. Think of it as a digital permission slip for an AI payment. And according to T54 Labs, developers can use Mastercard aligned verifiable intent within agent payments operating on the XRP ledger. That means an AI agent can create a payment request, attach proof of its instructions and permissions, have that information checked, and then settle the transaction on the XRP ledger. That is huge, because we are not talking about XRP ledger technology sitting on the sidelines while AI payment economies develop somewhere else. The XRP ledger is already being integrated into the infrastructure. The system uses something called the X402 facilitator, which went live on the XRP ledger in February 2026. This allows AI agents to pay for services using XRP or Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin. And according to T54 Labs, more than 1.4 million agentic transactions have already been settled through its XRP ledger facilitator. That figure is worth paying attention to, because this is not simply a concept written in a document. Transactions are already happening, the infrastructure is already live, and Mastercard standards is now being introduced into that environment. This is why I believe the XRP community should celebrate that announcement. For years, critics have said XRP is a solution looking for a problem. But the XRP ledger now finds itself connected to several of the most important financial trends happening at the same time. Cross-border payments, stablecoins, tokenized assets, institutional settlement, and now machine-to-machine AI agent payments. This is what serious blockchain adoption looks like. It does not always arrive with a dramatic announcement saying a company will immediately buy billions of XRP. It arrives through payment standards, settlement systems, developer tools, integrations, and millions of transactions gradually connecting together. The foundations are built first. The value comes later. Mastercard formally announced its Agent Pay for Machines initiative in June 2026. The company is preparing for a world where machines and software can carry out secure, continuous, and extremely fast payments across cards, bank accounts, and stablecoins. Mastercard named Ripple and T54 Labs among the initial organizations participating in and supporting the initiative. And yes, Mastercard is working with several other major companies and blockchain ecosystems as well. This is not an exclusive XRP arrangement, but that does not make this insignificant. The fact that the XRP ledger is being included alongside some of the biggest names in payments, technology and blockchain shows that it is being treated as a serious financial infrastructure. Ripple is not knocking on the door asking to be allowed into the future of payments. It's already in the room. And the XRP ledger has several characteristics that could make it extremely well suited to this emerging market. It's just so fast, and it has relatively low and predictable transaction costs, and it operates continuously. It can settle payments using XRP, RLUSD, and other issued assets, and every transaction creates a transparent record that can be audited afterwards. Those features could become incredibly important when AI agents are making huge volumes of payments. A human might tolerate waiting several minutes for one transaction. A machine making thousands of payments may not. A human might not notice a fluctuating transaction fee. A business running millions of automated transactions certainly will. AI payments will need networks that can settle quickly, operate reliably, and keep costs under control. That is where XRP Ledger could shine. And let's talk about XRP itself. Whenever news like this appears, people immediately ask whether XRP will actually be used. The answer is that the system can support payments using both XRP and RLUSD. Some transactions may use the stablecoin, others may use XRP. But even when RLUSD is used, the activity is taking place within the wider XRP ledger ecosystem. More users, more developers, more liquidity, more infrastructure, and more transactions all strengthen the network. And if XRP continues to play a role as a bridge asset and settlement asset within that ecosystem, increased network adoption could become extremely important over time. This does not mean the XRP price has to explode tomorrow morning. Real adoption rarely works like that. But people who only judge XRP by what its price does during 1 week are missing the bigger picture. The more important question is whether the XRP ledger is becoming connected to the financial infrastructure of the future. And this Mastercard development is another very strong piece of evidence that it is. The world is moving towards tokenized money. It's moving towards programmable payments. It is moving towards stablecoins. And it is moving towards AI agents that will require a secure way to spend money automatically. The XRP ledger is now positioned across all of those narratives. This is why this is so bullish to me. Not because Mastercard has announced it is buying XRP. Not because every Mastercard payment is suddenly moving onto the XRP ledger. Because a Mastercard payment standard designed for the machine economy is already being supported within live XRP ledger infrastructure. This is the type of development that builds genuine utility. And genuine utility is what the XRP community has been waiting to see. There will still be people who dismiss this. They will say Mastercard is working with other networks. They will say RLUSD might be used instead of XRP. They will say this will not immediately move the price. But I think that completely misses the point. Major financial infrastructure will not be built on one chain by one company using one asset. The future will almost certainly be multi-chain and interconnected. The winners will be the networks that are included, integrated, and actively used. The XRP ledger is proving that it belongs in that group. We now have Mastercard standards, Ripple RLUSD, XRP, and live AI agent transactions appearing in the same payment ecosystem. This is not a small development. It's another sign that XRP is moving beyond speculation and becoming part of the infrastructure that could power the next generation of global payments. The machine economy is coming. AI agents will need to pay for data, services, software, energy, and computing resources. Businesses will need those payments to be fast, controlled, and fully auditable. And the XRP ledger is already showing that it can help provide the rails. So yes, I think XRP holders should celebrate this story. Because while the market remains distracted by daily price movements, Ripple and the XRP ledger continue building connections to the future of finance. Let me know what you think in the comments. Could AI agent payments become one of the biggest use cases ever built on the XRP ledger? And do you believe that developments like this are being seriously underestimated by the wider crypto market? Remember, brand new episodes of the UK Crypto Podcast are released every Friday at 7 PM UK time. And if you're interested in our completely free Tradebot Pro Course, or you would like to join the Crypto Wolfpack community, head over to cryptowolfpack.co.uk. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. And remember this, the strength of the wolf is in the pack.